Guillermo del Toro, in my mind, is one of the masters of the modern-day creature feature. His recent take on Frankenstein is both beautiful and grotesque as it weaves a story of generational trauma. Pacific Rim is a really awesome Western take on the mecha genre, and his Hellboy adaptations are super fun fantasy action flicks, even if they're not the most faithful to the source material. His movies aren't without their flaws, but they're always beautifully constructed, full of imaginative designs and a fucking huge amount of gorgeous practical effects. That's right, barely any of that blue screen bullshit, just real, tangible, fantastical critters. Well, most of the time. But there's one movie of his that's of particular interest to me today, and that's the illustrious Oscar Award-winning The Shape of Water. You see, it's a movie about a mute woman named Eliza Esposito finding companionship as an outcast, set against the backdrop of 1960s America. A landmark fairy tale romance between a woman and a fishman. And they fuck. You know, that's pretty interesting actually, because you see those Hellboy movies I mentioned? They're about a big red half-demon guy who hunts monsters, but more importantly, his best friend and monster hunting partner is a fishman named Abe Sapien. Very interesting. Look, there's no denying that the amphibian man is sexy. We all know this, but there's still just this nagging question in the back of my mind. Abe Sapien or the amphibian man? Which fishman is really the most fuckable? Welcome to episode 3 of Monster Smash, a show where I aim to talk about monsters inside my vagina more than any other channel on YouTube. I personally have some concerns about what's going to be in my pussy if he comes inside me. And I hope you've been practicing how long you can hold your breath underwater for, because today, we're sleeping with the fishes. Oh, speaking of, here are today's content warnings. That's right, I'm actually going to talk about how fuckable that guy from the Fish Fucker movie is. Yeah, it was really only a matter of time before I talked about the most famous monster fucker movie. And honestly, what better time than Oscar season? But this guy doesn't get a free pass just because we know he fucks. He's got competition in the Guillermo del Toro Fishman space, so tonight they're going head to head in more ways than one. That's right, this time around we're back in the 1v1 format, which means these two scaly scamps are each being judged in 5 different categories: design, smoochability, kink factor, personality, and finally, the mystery category. That one's actually pretty literal because tonight we have a mystery to solve. A mystery so mysterious that it's been lingering for almost a decade since the original release of The Shape of Water. Don't worry though, I've been on the case and I've cracked it wide open, so stay tuned for that. Okay, that's enough preamble I think. Let's go ahead and dive right in.
This pie is rather sordid.
Our first category is design, which covers things like their overall build, physical appearance, and bodily fluids, wherever that applies. And up first is the amphibian man. God, I gotta say, this guy's name is a fucking mouthful. Which is funny, because I wouldn't mind a mouthful of his. So, he's a very elegant and sexy blend of human and fish-like elements who loves to pose like an SMT character. And what's more, you don't even have to take my word for it.
He's handsome in a fish-like way.
The bonus features were a fucking goldmine for this video, by the way.
It's a sexy monster.
Doug is actually incredibly correct here. His face is very emotive, with big, sad, soulful eyes and pouty lips. More on those later. At the same time, he's bristling with fins and frills, and his body is extra textured and scaly, which might be really good or really bad if you start riding his thigh. Just remember to exercise caution. For bodily fluids, he bleeds a bog standard red, which is actually a first for Monster Smash. How excitingly boring. We never get to see him come though. That's a little sad. Oh, and he's also completely freeballing it, butt-ass naked. Now, that's not anything new for this show, but I still feel like it's important to mention because Abe Sapien here has quite the taste for skin-tight clothing, and we all know that leaving a little something to the imagination is objectively sexier than pure nudity. However, I really don't think his field uniform is doing him any favors. The neck tube and goggles are kind of actively working against his sexiness. I do like the funny bubble necklace though. Other than that, Abe also has a much less human face compared to the amphibian man, with big old fishy eyes and an expressionless stare that honestly could just end up killing the vibe. Despite that, from the waist down he's kinda just a blue guy. So blue, in fact, that he even bleeds blue. Is his cum blue too? I do think it's worth noting that neither of these guys have nipples, which kinda sucks, but you know, it's understandable because they're fish. But they also have webbing under their arms and between their fingers, which extremely sucks because that means they're probably gonna have trouble just getting down to the first knuckle if they try to finger you. Well, I say that, but when Abe wears his gloves, this problem just mysteriously disappears, so oh shit. It's time for the fingernail check. Okay, let's see what we got. Well, fuck, the webbing's the least of your problems. Well, anyway, in terms of overall design, I think the win has to go to the amphibian man. Listen, I love Abe's tight little shorts and his cool stripes, but he's still kinda just a blue guy when you get down to it, which means this round goes to the green guy.
He's so beautiful.
It's time to talk mouth parts, and while smoochability is top priority, this is also the perfect place to talk about head game. Okay, really, I just want to draw attention to the fact that Abe Sapien's face is really flat, which means there really isn't much that could brush against your clit when he's eating you out. Well, I guess if you have a penis, that could give you like an extra couple centimeters of Abe throat, but that's assuming he could take you that deep in the first place. In any case, he also can't smile, which could be a turnoff, and while his lips look perfectly kissable, his favorite food is rotten eggs, so making out after dinner is going to require some intense toothbrushing beforehand. All around, kind of a bad showing. Let's see if the amphibian man is any better at eating pussy. No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. This guy actually has a lot going for him when it comes to smoochability. Beyond his diet of fresh eggs, his lips just look so kissable. But this time, I don't just have to say they look kissable, because our fish man here is making history with the first ever on-screen kiss in Monster Smash. Fuck yes. Now that deserves a win.
I think I can take you.
Our next category is kink factor. Essentially, it's whatever makes these guys uniquely sexy, in context. At first glance, the amphibian man might seem a little boring, but he's actually a pretty strong contender. Firstly, while he's very gentle at heart, his more animalistic nature could come in handy if you like the idea of a partner just absolutely going to town on you. And honestly, that would be a perfect combo with his ability to heal people just by touching them. That's right, if you really like it rough, this guy's got aftercare locked down. Pretty awesome. And check out that footwork. How dashing. He's got some stiff competition though, because Abe's got a set of singing pipes.
You came along just like a star and brightened my day.
And sing he will, because he's actually very quick to reveal some of his own proclivities.
And look at tight little leather straps.
Damn, okay. Well, most people can sing and get strapped if they put their mind to it, but don't worry, Abe still has some amazing tricks up his sleeve. He doesn't leave any fingerprints, for one. That could be great if you want to, like, roleplay as a detective tracking down a naughty criminal, but don't want it to be too easy because the thrill of the chase is what gets you off or something. Just throwing that out there. But if that's not getting you excited, there's also his extreme flexibility, which I think speaks for itself. But really, none of that stuff even matters because it all pales in comparison to his vast array of psychic abilities. Abe can read your mind, he can show you the past, he can sense things through walls, but most importantly,
Liz, you're pregnant.
he can tell when you're pregnant. Thinking of all the ways he could use this kind of power for sex could make your head spin. I mean, he can obviously tell exactly what you want him to do to you, or what you're going to do to him if that's what you prefer. He could probably show you a past sexual encounter in vivid detail, but also who's to say his psychic visions have to have a basis in reality? He might just be able to show you whatever he wants, including all manner of sexual fantasies. That's just speculation though. In any case, I still think he's the clear winner here. Healing is undeniably useful, but in a sexual context, Abe's psychic powers just have way too much potential to ignore.
We lead a charmed life.
Okay, I think it's time to address one of the elephants in the room. I know what you've been thinking. Abe has the limpest wrist to this side of an MCR concert, and he's constantly getting into yaoi moments with Professor Vape Cloud here. So isn't that kind of a limiting factor? Well, I'm here to report that in the second Hellboy movie, Abe falls in love with an elf princess. That's right, he has a romantic subplot with a woman. Still, I think his fruitiness is undeniable, so you could say this is a classic case of compet, but I'm choosing to recognize him as a fellow bisexual. But that's enough speculation on his sexuality. What's his actual personality like? Well, he's kind of a big nerd. He's the brains of Hellboy's monster hunting operation, and he will not let you forget it. Nothing is a better example of that than the fact that he reads 4 books a day, all at the same time. And yet, he still can't solve a Rubik's Cube. So not only is he a nerd, he's a quirky nerd. Ew. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty divisive. Not everyone is into the nerdy types, but if that is a turn-off for you, then I think his sassiness could still turn your opinion around.
What's wrong with you? You can't all just quit?
Watch us.
Okay, you gotta admit that's pretty charming. So anyway, what about the other guy? Well, I can't lie to you, it's pretty bleak. Listen, it's not like he has zero personality. He's very protective of Eliza, he's got a very dignified air about him when he's in his element, and yet he still has a soft side that just makes you want to free him from government torture. But like, seriously, compared to Abe, this guy might as well have zero personality. Abe fucking mogs this guy. No contest. Okay, it's neck and neck here, but we've still got that last category to seal the deal. Will the amphibian man reign supreme, or will Abe Sapien steal his crown? There's only one way to find out. Let's go ahead and unveil the category.
Fuck my ectoplasmic Schwanzstocher.
So at the beginning of this video, I told you that we had a mystery to solve. A mystery that'll be the key to finally discovering which fishman is well and truly the most fuckable. Yes, it's finally time to solve what might just be the greatest mystery of Guillermo del Toro's career. A question that's been burning, left unanswered for 9 long years. So what does this guy's penis look like? We know he has one, we know he uses it, but what it actually looks like has yet to be determined. Until tonight, that is, we're gonna figure this out. Just you, me, and the top scientists on my payroll. Well, I wish I could say that, but unfortunately, between running out of budget after the Shadowline episode and the ongoing top shortage, I can only afford a single bottom scientist. But don't worry, we've got some clues to help us crack the case. Firstly, some fans made a dildo back when the movie was new. This is important to know because Del Toro confirmed that it was not an accurate representation of the amphibian man's penis. In the interview where he said this, he also had this to say.
I did think about it because one of the things I wanted to is not explicit in the movie, but in large swamps of fish, they switch gender if they need to. And I wanted the creature, if it had been 50 years later and it had been a janitor, he would have maybe switched,
This is a huge lead because now we know that the amphibian man species is in some way hermaphroditic, but more specifically, sequentially hermaphroditic. This is when a species can go from one gender to the other, like Del Toro was saying. Sometimes it's permanent, with varying directions of gender by species, and sometimes it can go back and forth. Oh, fun fact, clownfish are one such species, specifically male to female. That's right, Nemo's mom is trans.
Why try?
So anyway, I've been doing some digging on hermaphroditic species of fish native to the Amazon, and I gotta say, it's not been easy to find all that info in one place. I found this thing. You ever seen this before? Well, in my limited research into saltwater fish in Brazil, this guy, the gray triggerfish, was the closest resemblance I could find to our amphibian man, but it doesn't seem like they're a hermaphroditic species. But like, come on, they could be twins. But honestly, none of this really matters because most male fish don't even have penises anyway. Sharks basically do, and even though they're not typically hermaphroditic, maybe the amphibian man just shares a common ancestor with the bull shark. I think that's a safe bet. Oh, and side note, this little research rabbit hole led me to learning about the Brazilian penis fish, which can jump into your urethra and cause all sorts of problems. So penis havers, you better watch out. Psych, that's just an urban legend. Or is it? Well, now I think we've got enough information to figure out what our fishman's penis looks like. But you know what? We can also figure out what our other fishman's penis looks like, easily. You might have noticed already over the course of this video, but these guys are like mirror images of each other. While Abe has big fishy eyes and a flat face, the amphibian man has big soulful human eyes and a nose. Abe has psychic powers, the amphibian man has healing powers. Abe can sing, the amphibian man can dance, and so on and so forth. So by that logic, if the amphibian man has a sheathed penis as described in the movie, then Abe has to have an external penis. In fact, take a look at this. Exhibit A, B, C. See that? We've got some bulge action. Or it could just be the lighting, or the fabric folding weird, or his packer, but it's definitely his penis. Trust me. The point is, my fish-man mirror theory is definitely undeniably factual. It just holds water. Okay, so now that we know all of this, I've compiled the data and created a 100% accurate rendition of what both their penises look like. Yeah, that's right. And you know what? I'm gonna show you. Both of them. Both penises. Right here, right now. But first, I really need to know that you want to see this. Technically speaking, if you watched past the warnings, you're already game for this, but it would really mean the world to me if you said this exact phrase out loud, right now. Go on. Leave a comment too, while you're at it. Okay, good. Now that we've got that out of the way, are you ready? I said, are you ready? Because here it comes. Boom, there it is. Crazy, isn't it? This is the culmination of 9 years of research. These are completely, without a doubt, the genuine articles. Truly a sight to behold. Honestly, Del Toro is a true genius, and you know what? So am I. No need to thank me. I gotta say though, seeing these side by side, this might be a controversial opinion, but I think I like Abe's better. Give this man a penis win. Honestly though, I think both of these guys are really awesome, but I think Abe's winning personality really gives him an edge over the amphibian man's bestial charms. And like, did you see that penis? Immaculate. So with that, I crown Abe Sapien as Guillermo del Toro's truly most fuckable fishman. You know, I've been throwing Del Toro's name around a lot in this episode, but the truth is that these fishmen were brought to life by a bunch of different people. There's obviously Mike Mignola, the original creator of Hellboy and designer of Abe Sapien, Wayne Barlow, who worked on Abe's movie design, Mike Hill, who helped with the Amphibian Man's design, and Doug Jones, the actor who brought both of these guys to life. Truly wonderful. Okay, now if you excuse me, I'm gonna go check on Abe's breaststroke.
God, I hate YouTube.
Thanks for watching this very fishy episode of Monster Smash. If you liked the video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe for more. And let me know who you want to see me talk about smashing next. See you next time.